Hello, everybody, and welcome to the oNiD British GT3 Championship. This is round 6, the finale of the season, here at home at Silverstone. I say at home, there's been plenty of circuits in Britain. Anyway, my name's Cammy Sturch, and I'm in the commentary box with the director of cameras and highlights and replays, Dan Hyde.
Hello.
Shalom. So, the title in all 3 categories seemingly coming down to the last race of the season. Of course, only 5 races count towards points. There is a drop round. In the AM category, it does look like, though, Dave Zalecki has sewn up that championship. Unless he finds a way to get himself disqualified, Dave Zalecki on 100 points, Matt Wilmot on 66, and John Cheel on 59. And, of course, it's 25 points for a race win. And Dave Zalecki's ahead by 34 points. So I think he will be crowned your AM champion tonight. In silver class, Henry Handy is on 92 points. Petr Jelinek is on 73. And Alexander Ogdegan is on 69. It is pretty much in Henry Handy's hands. But if he was to not finish the race this evening and Petr Jelinek takes the win, it could do a complete 180 and swing in Petr's favour. Thank you, Ramiel27, for the follow. And in the pro class, things are a lot closer. Christopher Larson leading the championship on 83 points. Jonathan Seville hot on his heels on 81 points. And Dan Watts on 62 points. So theoretically, any one of those 3 could still win the title. But realistically, I think it's going to be a fight between Larson and Seville. Course, it is 25 points for a race win, 18 points for second place, and 15 points for third. So it is going to be whoever wins in the pro category tonight will take the pro British GT3 Championship crown. Say for 2023, but we'll say for Q1 2023, because we have several seasons each year, don't we, Dan? This isn't just a once-a-year thing.
We do, and we'd like to mix things up, so it won't be a British GT Championship for the next season.
No, it's going to be something of a world championship. It's going to be a lot more international circuits, sort of in the Americas and South Africa, of course. And we can give you a quick rundown, circuit walk of Silverstone, if you like. Dan likes showing off his new graphics pack. Here we go. I'm sure you're all familiar with Silverstone, historical circuit up in Northamptonshire, England, not far from where Dan lives, actually. So they'll start the lap, not at Hamilton Straight, but on the old start-finish straight. Then it's right at Copse, through Maggots and Beckett's, Chapel, down Hanger Straight, down towards Stowe, Vale Club, then up the Hamilton Straight, through Abbey, Farm Curve, Village, the Loop, Aintree, down the Wellington Straight, through Brooklands, round Luffield, and back to finish the lap and start the next. Of course, the Formula 1 cars start down in the blue section, but we will be starting over on the left on the old classic start-finish straight, where they still have the old paddock buildings and everything, just opposite the Silverstone College, where you can get some great views from that college. Say Dan and I have been to an event at that college, and you get some great views of Woodcote and Copse Corner. But we're just jumping into qualifying now, and we're just following Jonathan Seville in the Porsche 991, currently leading qualifying session. We're barely 10 minutes in, but he's already got a 157.2 on the board. Dan Watts close behind, barely 2/10 off, but just trying to find Christopher Larson. Can't see him anywhere yet, so if he's yet to get a time on the board, I would hope that he's going to be racing tonight. And of course, with drop rounds as well, I mean, we have the 1 drop round, so it's not immediately obvious who will win the championship, because obviously it will depend on the result that gets dropped from each driver's season, how bad their worst finish was. As we're just following Jonathan, he's just backing off to create a bit of space in front of him to get a flying lap on. He just takes it easy through Luffield, and this is familiar because I was just saying to Dan, I got to go out in a Porsche Cayman GT4 this afternoon on a passenger ride. I just want to extend my thanks actually to Toby Trice, the Cayman Islands Porsche GT4 Championship driver, number 11. He sort of very kind of him to take me out and to, I think the company name is test him. Very nice of them to let me go out because I don't sponsor him or anything. I'm just a friend. There's yellow flags up there. It must be somebody just pulled over returning to the garage as we're just watching Jonathan negotiate Maggots and Beckett's. Hilke van der Veen saying hi. And Pinky87, wet racer oNiD. So it's overcast, but Dan, it's not looking like it's going to be particularly wet this evening.
Currently no forecast of rain.
No forecast of rain. So,
but if it rains, you can just call me Michael Fish.
Okay. No hurricanes. No hurricanes. ACC can't do that anyway. Just as well. As we just watching Jonathan Seville go over the new Formula 1 start-finish straight, Hamilton Straight, recently named after. I'll let you figure out who that is. I won't spoil the surprise who that's named after.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah, exactly. So Dan Watts has closed the gap. He's barely a 10th off Seville's best time now. Shahabi is in 3rd, Hagel 4th, High is 5th. Ortegren of the silver class is in 6th place at the moment. Really putting the pressure on Petr Jelinek to up his game. Petr Jelinek is in 8th, Forbes is in 7th, by the way. We've got Hearn 9th and Gardner rounding out the top 10. So Jonathan Earl, who had impressed early on in the season with some of the lunges, just hasn't been able to keep his car in sort of the top half of the pro field in the later races, which is a shame because he's got bundles of talent. As we're just jumping back to Matt Wilmot. And has that livery been changed a little bit? I'm not sure I remember the red sidewalls to the rear spoiler, Dan.
It has been changed.
It has been. I notice these things. I don't notice when someone gets a haircut, but if somebody changes the livery a little bit, you know, I'm going, yep, recognize that. The Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he leans forward and goes, whoop, whoop.
There's a better view of it.
Yeah, it's a much better view of it. I've been trying to contact Ben Brown actually because I've got somebody who needs a livery being done and I don't have the time to do it. I was like, that sounds like a job for Ben. I've given Ben the link and he's not really replied to me on Discord, so...
Very busy.
Yeah, very. Clearly doesn't want the work.
Doing liveries like this.
Yeah. There's Matt Wilmot currently in 28th place. In the thick of it, in the AM class. But we've got a couple pros and silvers down there as well. We've got Gardner and Watson right down there. I'm assuming there might be some qualifying bans this weekend, Dan.
There may be. I haven't looked.
I saw somebody tell us in the Twitch chat, oNiD Dave can't do a single lap without crashing. Well, that's not good. That's not good to hear a race driver say.
He's won the championship already, so he's got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he doesn't matter now. Hydronox, Matt, taller than you'd ever believe, Wilmot. How tall is Matt then? I'm trying to think if we met Matt over Christmas.
7 foot. That's a good answer. 7 foot is my guess.
I'll guess 6'11". We'll wonder whoever's closest wins.
Why'd you win? Poking the eye with a blunt stick.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, everyone's tall to me.
I always thought you were taller.
I get that a lot. It's just, you know, in photos, I'm a bit of a string bean and skinny-ish. It makes me look taller.
Matt went 6/10 quicker, but I don't think he moved up.
He's very close. He's I think he was 28th. He has jumped up to 27th.
Or maybe my eyes were deceiving me.
Don't believe your eyes. Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. As Seville has set a new fastest lap, he's now 3.5 tenths clear of Dan Watts. And where is Christopher Larson? This is certainly concerning for the championship. If Larson doesn't race this evening, that will essentially hand the championship to Jonathan Seville. Here's Dave Zalecki, pretty much your AM champion. And he's just happy to create no pressure on him now. He's done what he needed to do. He's already got it in the bag. There's no pressure on him this evening. He can just go out there and have fun and not worry about making up places or, where he finishes. He can just have a good time. As we're just coming up to the halfway point now of this last qualifying session of the British GT3 Championship. Sponsored by Go for the Gap. Go there now. Go buy a print. Go for the gap.etsy.com. Go there now. You can turn, we won't be racing for 50 minutes. You've got time to order a poster. Say, he's not on a lap is he on a lap at the moment, Dan? Or is this an invalid or out lap?
This is an out lap, I believe.
That's the thing, because the mini-map always gives you a red dot. So, a blue dot is somebody else on an invalid or an out lap, but a red dot is just regardless of what kind of lap they're on. This is the person you're looking at. Pinky87, looking forward to racing with you guys on Sundays next season. Well, it won't be me racing with. I can't do this sort of thing anymore. I'm too slow. I reinstalled iRacing yesterday, and yeah, I'm out of touch. I need that iRating to come down from like 2200 back down to 1500. So I'm not put in with talented people. It just feels so alien to me now, and the back end just flies out the moment I brake at a corner. Hey, the grandstands are pretty empty. I do wish ACC would actually fill the grandstands with people.
It would be good if they did that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a mildly interesting story about people in grandstands on computer games.
So go on in.
So Bahrain has been added to R Factor 2.
I did not know that, but
yeah, it was added September last year. But it was in the game September last year.
They've gotten a big slide on. Sorry there, Dan. They've gotten a big slide on, and then just sort of pendulum swung back and forth and lost control. But yes, R Factor 2 has Bahrain now.
Yeah, and then it was the first round of the Virtual Le Mans series. And we had one of the motorsport advisors at Motorsport Games say there wasn't enough people in the crowd. Can you please add more?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't understand. It doesn't exactly look great when you're driving around and there's like, even in a virtual capacity, nobody wants to watch you race. It's like, well, can I at least have some people cheering us on? I mean, even Microprose Grand Prix in the early 90s had crowds full of people. Granted, it was just a checkerboard of colours. It wasn't an attempt even to make it look like people. It was just a checkerboard of colours, but the idea was you're driving past so fast, you're not going to be able to look at it too closely anyway.
Yeah.
As we're just following Matt High, who's second back from Jonathan Seville's best time in the comfy, but all carbon fibre. Oh, and there's a bit of a traffic jam forming at Luffield now. Hydronox, Clio's in iRacing is like a siren's call. Of course, the call won't do much if I lack the funds for it.
Yes, interesting that iRacing have picked that up. They've finally copied pretty much every other sim racing game and put the best front wheel drive car in it.
Yeah, it's the only sort of a car I can beat Will Dendy in, so You know, I like it. I can handle that lift-off oversteer.
It's good fun.
It's a lot of fun, and it's nice to be able to beat a pro racing driver. I just hope he gets his 2023 season sorted soon.
Yeah, 2023 season is fast approaching.
It is, yeah. I think a lot of them, sort of GT drivers, their season, whereas Formula One starts in, well, these days it starts at like the first week of March.
Starts in a week.
Yeah, exactly. For GT drivers and club drivers, the season doesn't start really until April. And even then, I think that Porsche Cayman Cup, they've got 2 races, like April and then May, and then they've got a massive gap until the end of July or August.
Yeah, British touring cars has historically had a summer break.
And then the last race at Brands Hatch is, I think it said early October.
Yeah, it was last year as well.
And you were on the Motorsport Games booth, weren't you, Dan? And I was there getting you told off.
I always get told off.
It's like being back at school. It's like,
yeah,
can do very well, just needs to not talk so much.
Lacks application.
So it looks like Dan Watts has improved a little bit. It's now just about 2.5 tenths back from Jonathan Seville. Jahabi's 6 tenths back in his BMW. Here's Dan Watts running around the number 126. Just coming down the Wellington Straight. I think that's Ralph Vest he's just going past.
Yeah, moving out the way very nicely.
Yeah, we do like to see that.
Or it might have been Ortegren.
Oh, it could have been Ortegren, couldn't it? Yeah, I think that's more likely. I was gonna say something and then you
rudely interrupted.
Rudely interrupting. Ralph is in a Mercedes. Pinky's just saying, yeah. It was just so I saw green and purple, and my mind just went to Ralph Vest. I'm sort of putting together these mental connections now of particular colours drivers like driving. And talking of colours, though, Go for the Gaps branding's gonna change a little bit. We of course ran Circuit Superstars branding and Brendan Rooney in the Challenger Cup of this series drives Circuit Superstars Go for the Gap car, but we're gonna change all that. Obviously, we got some Steam codes from Circuit Superstars, and we're very grateful for that, and it was very cool to work with them. But that was 2022. This is 2023, and we can reveal that Kaydan Computers are going to be our title sponsor for this year, because Kaydan Computers has been such a massive part of Go for the Gap racing, and just, you know, personally as well.
Yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity for us.
I don't know if it's an opportunity. Is it an opportunity? Are we going to gain much?
The only way is up.
Yeah. And especially as I don't know if I can say it here. I don't know if I can talk about promotions and such, but I suppose I've given the game away there, haven't I? In terms of driver promotions from Challenger up to the main GT3 championship.
Nothing's confirmed yet, but
nothing's confirmed. No, that's true.
Likely.
But yeah, there may be a Go for the Gap car in the top flight of oNiD Motorsport. Hilke van Sveen, a 59.6. I'm bloody happy with that. And Pinky87 says, I think it's the Challenger Cup that I'll be in next season. So you've promoted yourself from the Trophy Series to the Challenger.
He's not done this season.
Oh, okay. So he's just starting in the Challenger.
Yes. So he signed up within enough time to get a spot.
Oh, well
in the Challenger.
I think that's where I'd be if I signed up anyway.
I mean, everyone says I'm the bottom.
Yeah, everyone says I'm fast, but I just don't. I don't do it anymore. I was half thinking about getting rid of my rig, but I've got nowhere to put it. And the moment I sell it, I don't have it go on it again. So, yeah, I won't be getting rid of it. As we're watching Jonathan Earl, who's got himself up into 5th place. That's much more like it. I mean, he hasn't just done that just now, but in the last few minutes, Jonathan Earl has got himself up into 5th. That is much more like it and far more in keeping with the huge bags of skill he has. As we jump into Alexander Altogen, currently in 13th place, 2nd at the moment in silver class. Colin Cameron is, I think, yeah, he's leading the AM class at the moment. Provisional pole for the AM class. John Shields 2nd, Ryan Davies 3rd, and Petr Jelinek is on provisional pole for the silver class at the moment, but I'm sure Alexander Altogen has something to say about that. Just over 6 minutes of qualifying. The drivers will probably be very pleased that there is no rain forecast. Even though it doesn't look like it will rain, it's just typical grey Britishness. That's a point. When I was driving up to Brands Hatch this morning, it began snowing.
Interesting.
Up the M20, yeah, about 11:30 in the morning. It was 3 degrees Celsius outside, and it looked like I'd driven into a little mini blizzard. Only for a few miles, and then it just disappeared.
As if by magic.
As if by magic, the shopkeeper appeared. I mean, there was a blizzard. Ah, who can tell what children's show I just referenced?
Is it Mr. Ben?
It was Mr. Ben. Well done.
I remember watching that program when I was a young'un.
Okay, I won't go on with that. Anyway, just under 5 minutes to go here at Silverstone. Jonathan Seville coming across the line. He does improve very slightly, only by a few hundredths of a second. It's still a 156.9, the only driver to go under 157 here tonight. He is on form. And still, Christopher Larson is nowhere to be seen. So Christopher Larson must be taking Silverstone as his drop round, which I think would mean... Could this mean already then that Jonathan Seville... Whoa, Dan getting a slide on. Could that mean Jonathan Seville is the champion?
Depends if Seville has missed a race. If Seville's already missed a race, that'll be his drop round.
But he's already 2 points ahead. No, yeah.
Yeah, but it depends what...
Oh, sorry, Larson's ahead by 2 points. Larson is ahead by 2 points. Yeah, you're right.
But also, you drop your lowest score.
You do drop your lowest score.
If someone's lowest score is lower than the other's lowest score, obviously it's going to affect them less.
Yeah.
When they drop the points.
Oh, this is tricky, isn't it? It's just going to come back to sort of back counting those
quick maths.
Quick maths, yeah, but I don't have all of their results to hand. Christopher Larson has 2 race wins. Jonathan Seville has 2 race wins, and Jordan Watson has 1 race win. Which, of course, brings us neatly, that's 5 between them, and brings us up to the 6th and last round of the season. Of course, not like Formula 1, they get 23 rounds, 24 rounds sometimes to fight for a championship, but these drivers, they have to do it in 6. We're just watching Daniel Rhodes in the Porsche 991. Currently sitting just in 29th spot. He's looking to improve. He's just coming out of Woodcut. Is he going to improve? Let's have a look. He does not. He's just over half a second back there. And I was going to say that was a car not moving, but it was just the whole game not moving. And here's Hilke van der Veen, currently in 24th position. He's just coming through. I think it's Abby and Vale. Nope, just Abby. Vale is down at Stowe. Why did I say that?
I don't know.
I don't really know.
I don't rightly know.
Dan, when I come up to see you in Northamptonshire at, around Silverstone, Is it noticeable that I'm not from the area in terms of accents?
Not particularly.
No, because I don't notice too much of an accent. I know if you go a bit further and you sort of head up towards Birmingham and, then you come across really strong accents, but doesn't seem to be much of a different accent between, and Hilker's going to put it in the wall. No, he's going to change his mind again.
I think he was trying to start a qualifying lap.
Well, that's a bit of a rough start to a qualifying lap, and he's going to impede somebody now. Oh dear, I think that was that Hearn. I think it might have been Hearn. He just sort of got a bit nervous there. Oh, sorry, it was John Cheel. We got a bit nervous there,
and that's put him down by 1 second already before he started the lap.
Oh dear. But yes, between Kent and Northamptonshire, it doesn't seem to be any difference in accent. You might say Bath instead of Bath, but I think that's about it.
Yeah, you've got to go up to like Hinckley, Coventry before you notice a change in accent. Although I had a friend who lived in Hinckley and he said I sounded like a farmer. You Daventry people, you sound like farmers, he used to say.
How big is Daventry in terms of population?
70-ish thousand.
Okay, it's bigger than I thought, because it's not a massive town, but a bit more people than I thought. It's about half the size of Ashford.
Yeah, it's not small, but it's not overly large.
No, as we just following Jonathan Seville on what will be his last qualifying lap.
And we just missed it. He did actually go faster, yeah.
Yeah, he's a 156.895 now. He just never gives up. He never takes his pole position, provisional poles for granted, does he? He's always pushing, always fighting to improve his times, improve his own driving, as Dan Watts has pushed a bit too hard off the track and out of qualifying. That's his qualifying done. He will be best he can hope for is second place. I say that like he's had a bad qualifying. Yeah, I mean, he's had a great qualifying, but he will be starting at highest second place. As we're just watching Andrew Hearn, he manages to improve at the last second and goes up into 15th place. That's third in silver class. Here's John Cheel, second in the AM class at the moment. We're just watching him come through the loop up towards Aintree. And then it's just down the Wellington Straight, left at Brooklands, and then the long right-hander at Luffield before coming through would get over the line to finish his lap. He'd like to get a few silver cars between himself and Colin Cameron, no doubt. Dave Zalecki, where is he? Yeah, he's 26 at the moment. Of course, he can take it easy. John Cheel rounds Woodcote now. Where is he going to finish? Oh, well, he did improve, but he stays in 21st place. And here's Jonathan Seville.
Seville's going quicker at the moment.
Seville's going quicker. Well, we'll see. It's 0.895. And he goes 862. So that was another few hundredths of a second there. Absolutely incredible stuff from Jonathan. I'm surprised we don't see him racing alongside the likes of Max Verstappen and James Baldwin and, the huge teams. I mean, hopefully oNiD at some point will attract maybe a few of those bigger teams, bigger names, and then we'll get more people watching and more people viewing. And we've got 29 people watching this evening. Thank you very much. As Pinky says, Devonshire Dumpling. Not sure what he's referring to there. But your grid this evening, Jonathan Seville on pole once again alongside Dan Watts. Miles Dixon takes third ahead of Alex Shahabi. And Jonathan Earl is fifth alongside Petr Jelinek, who got up to sixth place in an Aston Martin. He's quicker than Matt High, a pro driver in an Aston Martin. That's brilliant from Petr Jelinek. Dan Hearn is seventh with Matt High in eighth. Marcus Hagel is ninth with Martin Thorpe in 10th. Martin is 11th with Marquez 12th. Ortegren is 13th, which is second in silver. And Gardner is 14th. Hearn is 15th with Colin Cameron, your pole sitter for AM class this evening. Daniel Lindblom 17th with Henry Handy 18th. Mav Gardner 19th. Ollie Knowles is 20th. John Cheel, second in AM class, is 21st. Thibaut Guertin is 22nd, with Derek Stack in 23rd place. Ryan Davies is 24th. Hilke van der Veen will start from 25th, just ahead of Dave Zalecki, the AM champion, in 26th. Alex Parkin is 27th, just ahead of Ralph Vest. Matt Wilmot, 29th, ahead of Dan Rhodes. I said Thibaut Guertin, and I'm not sure if Thibaut is Guertin's name, because now I'm thinking it could be Lowen's first name. But Lowen is 31st, Hurst is 32nd, Graham Jackson 33rd, Lathoff 34th, Van Wingerden is 35th, and Jordan Watson with what must have been a qualifying ban for this evening starts at the back of the grid. So he is going to be a driver we'll have to keep an eye on, because he will no doubt be making fast progress up the field this evening. And this is a nice camera shot, Dan. This is a bit of a different one.
Here's something I prepared earlier.
What are you, Art Attack?
Banksy.
Kev 1066. I used to say years ago, people from Kent spoke very posh. Well, people from Kent do speak quite posh. But Kent isn't as posh as you would imagine, because it's just a lot of London overflow towns, and it's South London. So a lot of South Londoners have just moved down into Kent, and Kent's become a bit chavvy, maybe? Yeah, that's it, Ben. Oh, London. From London town. Yeah, Swanley is a London overflow town. Ashford, further down, is it's not a pure London overflow town, but you know, it did exist before, but it certainly grew in the 80s because of that, and that's where my parents came down. Of course, you've got historical Canterbury, and you've got the county capital of Maidstone, but other than that, it really being down here, it's you know, I'm so far away from all of the motorsport stuff that goes on, so I kind of had Brands Hatch there as a bit of a lifeline, as Jordan gives us a little wiggle as he heads across the line. A nice little circle wipe there, back to the leaders, Jonathan Seville and Dan Watts, as they round Maggots and Beckett's. Broadstairs, which is basically France. How you don't say that to anyone in Broadstairs. Broadstairs is fancy. Margate, not so much, even though they literally border each other. You can't tell when you're moving from one town from the next. They just merge. Kev 1066 says, I come from Canterbury, actually. No, whereabouts? See, if he says a particular area of Canterbury, I'll be able to say, no, that's the poor area. That's the rubbish area. That's the horrible area, or whatever. If he says Wincheap, basically, that's the slightly rougher area of Canterbury. A lot of car dealerships in Canterbury now. And you can't get anywhere to live. It's all student accommodation now. If you're not a student, you can't live in Canterbury, really. I'm just using my airtime to rail against housing policies in Kent. As we just watch the drivers coming through Vale and Club up towards Hamilton Straight and the new... what do they call it, Dan? Is it the wing? Silverstone wing?
That's correct.
There's Jordan just picking up a little mud and grass on his tyres there for good luck. Really hanging back there, and here's Alex Shahabi for Connexus Motorsports. He has had a decent season. He's currently 7th in the standings. He's only a point behind Miles Dixon. He could have 6th place in the championship from him. They could even leapfrog Sigurd Revzik, who is not here this evening. So, be interesting to see how this table looks after the race. Bremsey, evening. Good evening. just in time. We're just about to get going. 90 minutes here at Silverstone. I nearly called it Brands Hatch. At Silverstone for the round 6 finale, the British GT3 Championship, sponsored by Go for the Gap. Go there right now. goforthegap.etsy.com.
Hope everyone racing will go for the gap tonight.
Yes, absolutely. So they should. Are we streaming the Amley? No, that's Reinar's Motorsport, isn't it, Dan, who streamed the...
Yes, although their channel name has been changed. And as I usually say, no one tells me nothing. I found out in the week it's now called oNiD twice.
Very nice. Nobody tells me nothing. Anyway, we're just waiting now for the green flag to drop as the drivers work their way up through Woodcut. We're about to get going, about to get racing here at Silverstone for the 6th and final round of the British GT Championship. I can't tell when they're away because Dan's changed the camera, and there's a green flag. I see a mush with a green flag. They're away. Jonathan Seville leads them down into Copse Corner. It looks like Dan Watts is about to come under attack from Miles Dixon. It could be a pulse 1-2 this evening, but RTO Motorsports are going to try and hold on to at least one of those podium positions. Dan Watts slots in ahead of Miles Dixon. He's able to retain that second. And it looks like everybody's away nicely. I'm not seeing any yellow flags at the moment, but of course, whenever I say that, it usually just happens further down the order. Happens at the next corner. Ben 22 Racing. Some of the AM Series events on Thursday are streamed, but not all of them. As we're watching Dan Watts trying to have a go at Jonathan Seville. It's very aggressive. He knows the speed Jonathan Seville has. So if he's going to try and take the lead, he knows he needs to do it now and not let Jonathan Seville pull away. Alex Shahabi's just gotten past Miles Dixon, actually. Miles, who was attacking Dan Watts, has lost out to Alex Shahabi. So Alex is up into 3rd place now as we're watching some of the action further back. This is Matt High battling it with Petr Jelinek.
Down in 21st.
Yeah, down in 21st. What's happened there? Matt High has dropped from 7th to 21st. He's had an awful first lap and now is really on damage control. Of course, Matt High is 10th in the championship at the moment, and this will be doing his championship standings absolutely no good as Miles Dixon's trying to come back at Alex Shahabi. Shahabi just holds his line firm. He's not going to be intimidated out of the way. And Jonathan L just keeping in touch there. We know what he's capable of. And of course, he won the Kyle Army 9-hour race on SimRacing.GP. So he is absolutely a driver who knows how to be in control of a race and make some fantastic overtakes. I know he's the Earl of Ipswich, but I tend to call him now the Legend of Lunging, as we're just watching all the cars belt through to start the 2nd lap. And it's really weird having been at a racetrack today where they're really loud, and then when I'm commentating I can't actually hear the cars, so it's a very muted experience for me. Bremsy, interesting. I'm too slow for these big guns here. Yeah, it's amazing how quick they are. Got absolute confidence in their car and in their setup and in themselves as well, as Jonathan Seville is still being pushed by Dan Watts and Shahabi is still being pushed by Miles Dixon. And no doubt Jonathan L will just be watching for a mistake from those two. If they tangle a little bit, he'd be able to take advantage. Javier Marquez is in 10th for Pulse Sim Sport. You can just see his teammate a couple places up ahead, Marcus Hagel. Some teams like you also use the same car, but Pulse very flexible in letting drivers pick their own cars, what they want to drive. As we're just watching Daniel Lindblom closing up on Andrew Hearn. This is for 15th place as Dan takes a wide line there, takes a lot of grass. That's going to compromise his line, and you can see Mav Gardner's trying to have a go. Mav's going to try and run it round the outside. He's got a realistic chance of doing this. He's got his car in there, but yes, he's done it. No, he's lost it. A brilliant bit of opportunistic driving, but great for Daniel to keep his cool and just get the old switcheroo there. As we jump back up front to Jonathan Earl, he's just keeping in touch with Miles Dixon. He knows he can take advantage if it goes wrong between Shahabi and Miles. He'll be able to pounce. We watch the cars come through, the marshals just standing there. They just sort of on their 12-second animated loop of looking around, looking vaguely alive, and then just sort of repeating their loop. Got one flag there waving in the crowd. I really wish, yeah, as we were saying, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Dan, they could fill their crowds a bit, couldn't they?
I think they do at other circuits. Like, I think it may be, I don't know, depending on what settings you put for the race, will be how many people shown in the stands. Because I've seen it at, especially like Misano, the stands are always full.
It's very strange. I mean, when I go to Brands Hatch, British GT and GT World Challenge always, it's a real sellout event. It's not like GT racing is just, you know, some obscure off-branch motorsport series that people don't really care about. It's a real ticket seller. It gets bums on seats. As we're just watching Jordan Watson coming up through the field. That's Dan Rhodes, I think he's going past. Yes, it is. And he's got the fastest lap of the race, but he did have a bit of clear track in front of him, but soon he won't. Soon he'll be in the thick of it. Let's jump to Marcus Hagel. And he's chasing Patty Jelinek, and he needs to clear Jelinek just to get back in touch with Jonathan L and Dan Hearn ahead. Oh, but Jelinek isn't going to make it easy for him. He's quite happy there running in 7th, and yeah, he's absolutely earned the right to be there. He's having a brilliant race so far. It's only 6 minutes old, but Peta has done very well. I don't know what to say at this camera angle, Dan, because I've got no information.
Well, you can see that everyone's breaking off into their little groups.
They are.
Everyone's still fairly close.
Is this going to be the camera angle every time they come around for a lap?
Not every lap. No.
Okay, thank goodness. Bremsy, Watson had a qualifying ban. Yes, he did. So he had to start at the back, and he's just starting to make his way through now. He has got the fastest lap of the race. I think that was the last car. I think that was Rhodes just going through there. But Marquez still not able to clear past the Jelinek, and it looks like there Marquez just trying to line up a move on Martin. And Marquez is going to try and do around the outside. There was a bit of contact there. It looked a bit brutal. Bit of a solid bang between the two. And Martin Thorpe's going to try and take advantage. If he can get around the outside of the left-hander, that will put him in good stead for the right. But no, he's going to back off there. He knows that's not going to come off, as Javier Marquez still just has to follow Martin. Feels like an eternity ago that everyone was making Coldplay puns. That feels like a long time ago now. He's kicking up a bit of dust. And Javier's going to try and go long around the outside again. Or is he just going to try and take different lines and sort of in and under? As they come through Aintree down towards the Wellington Straight now, under the bridge. He moves out. Is he going to make a move? He thought about it. He sort of hesitated. Sort of changed his mind, but you really need to be committed. And Thorpe is just waiting to take advantage. He's seen them make contact a couple moments ago, so he knows that if Javier gets this wrong, Thorpe will just walk on by and take advantage of that. And that was you could see in the background the college we mentioned earlier, where you get great views of this part of the circuit. Coming through Copse Corner now. And look how close Javier's got. He can take these corners so much faster. He has a lot more confidence, but catching is one thing, passing is quite another, and you're not going to be able to do it like that through Maggots and Beckett's. But he's lost control, and is he going to hit the barrier? That looked like a pretty hefty barrier bang there. We can maybe get a replay of that, as Javier's just trying to get his car facing the right way. Yeah, if we keep to this aerial shot, it looked like he tucked his nose in at Maggots. The door was... Yeah, so he's got a much better run through Cop's corner. He's closing. He moves to the left. He's backed off there, and he's just taken far too much curb and grass as he exited Maggots there, and it's just catapulted him into the wall, and exactly what Colin Cameron was looking for, just to take advantage of a mistake up ahead, as Miles Dixon taking a lot of grass. He needs to be careful because that could end how it just did for Javier Marquez. Handful of grass and it will fling you into the wall, as Jonathan Earl is maintaining close relations, we'll say, with Alex Shahabi and Miles Dixon. They're starting to leave Dan Hearn behind. And there's Patty Yelena coming into your picture, chased by Marcus Hagel. Oh, it's all bunching up down there. That's I think that's Henry Handy. No, it's his teammate, John Cheel. And that's the oNiD cars going past. We'll just get a replay of what's happened here because it's all a bit argy-bargy. Or my picture's going to freeze. There we go. There's a replay.
I think they're all getting bunched up behind the slow-moving car.
Yeah, and that would be Javier Marquez. He'd have to be going round slower because of the damage he has.
Though that Remnant Racing tried to force the oNiD racing car off the track.
A little bit, yeah. And then there was a little bit of extra contact there, just for good measure. But Hilker still in the 26th place, and that is Javier Marquez coming into the very quiet pit lane. And that's going to be a couple of minutes of repairs, no doubt. Oh, that head-on collision with the wall, that's damaged his chances of keeping 9th in the championship. I think Matt High will be taking that 9th from him. Yeah, you can get your head under that bonnet. It's really lifted badly. That's going to be a lot of time to repair. He's going to be a lap or two down. But we just take you back to this gaggle at the front. Dan Watts is keeping in touch with Jonathan Seville, but this is the battle for 3rd at the moment. This is Shahabi, Dixon, and Earl, and Hearn is closing up on this group. It's a bit of a Porsche-centric battle, just being led by BMW. Oh, and Javier's coming out already. That was quick, wasn't it, Dan?
That was very quick.
Yeah, I thought he'd be in there a lot longer. I mean, I had an accident in iRacing. It told me I had to wait 6 minutes for repairs, 4 more minutes for optional repairs, so I just left. Like at Red Bull Ring, that's going to be me 20 laps down, and the race was only about 20 laps long. As they come across the line to start their 7th lap. Miles Dixon still chasing Alex Shahabi, and these two fighting for 6th and 7th in the championship. Jonathan Earl is the outlier here. He's only in 12th with 7 points, but a good result here could see him jump up the order, maybe to 7th or 8th in the championship, especially with Javier Marquez. That accident, he's going to drop down the championship standings now, and it all depends, of course, on their dropped rounds. We come down Hanger Straight. Out of Stowe, through Vale. Sorry, Dan. Alright, Dan is going on auto... Well, I'm on autopilot, so Dan's got to jump away for a moment. This is Martin Thorpe. This is battle between himself and Chris Martin. Of course, they've managed to see Javier Marquez take himself out of contention. And this is a fight between them for 9th position. Look, ooh, Martin Thorpe. Did he get a little bit sideways there? I think he lost a little bit of time through Abbey. Yeah, he's just being hounded by Adam Gardner. And that's Autogren in the lime bright luminous green McLaren just behind those two. as they come down the Wellington Straight. Thorpe closing up, but very late on the brakes. Very late indeed on the brakes. He went very deep into Brooklands there, without breaking himself, costing himself time. That's just letting Alexander Ortegren catch right up. And these are pro drivers. Ortegren is a silver. We jump back to NASCAR of Andrew Hearn. He's being chased by Daniel Lindblom now. The pit window opened 5 minutes ago. Don't think we'll see any drivers jumping into the pits just yet. Javier Marquez has already been in the pits, but that won't count because it was before the pit window opened. That was for his repairs. But yeah, we'll likely see people pitting in about half an hour. Usually they'll just do it at the halfway point. There's not too much when it comes to strategy. They'll just do it at the halfway point. As Alex Jahabi now defending from Miles Dixon. Miles is still harassing him, still haranguing him. Taking a lot of curb as they come over the start-finish straight of the Formula 1 track. Miles is closing up. He's really glued to the back of that BMW. Is he about to launch it up the inside of Alex? Alex is going to try and hold it around the outside. He knows he's got the inside line at the loop. Miles is going to try and get the sort of over and under. Is he going to try and it's going to get pinched at Aintree? They've gone side by side through Aintree. That is very impressive as they come down the Wellington Straight now. Miles Dixon's going to have the inside line at Brooklands. Jonathan Elves very aware of what's going on, ready to take advantage, maybe follow Miles through. But that is Miles through up into third place. And there's a bit of a kerfuffle down with John Cheel down in 24th. Jordan Watson just at the head of this group. He's just making his way through. He's up into 20th place now. So he's almost cleared half the field in less than half the race distance. Fantastic stuff from Jordan. Just watching the Racing Stronger of Ryan Davies. He's just trying to fend off Mav Gardner, but Mav's got the inside line at Brooklands, and they're in different. And there's contact between John Cheel and Derek Stack. They've Ralph Vest. John Cheel just looked like he absolutely assassinated Ralph Vest, and a bit of a drive-by there. He just took him out and drove on. That was a little bit savage. Yeah, a little bit savage there, Dan. We just missed that. John Cheel just took Ralph Vest out and just kept on going. It was a bit of a savage move. As Alex Shahabi's now coming back at Miles Dixon. Is he going to try and go round the outside? No, he's not quite able to, but he knows he's got to be careful. He could open the door inadvertently for Jonathan L. And this has allowed Dan Hearn to catch right up. He's being harassed by Porsches all the way.
So how was the AI in my absence?
It was really good having the AI hand. And he's going up the inside. Jonathan L diving up the inside there. Jahabi's going to try and hold on. He's going to try and hold on through the loop and through Aintree. This is where Miles got past him, up the inside of Aintree. Alex has the inside this time. But Jonathan L's still got his nose in there. It's not over yet for Alex Shahabi. And now Hearn's trying to get involved as well, make this a three-way battle. Now Jonathan L's in the same situation Jahabi was. He's got to be on the offense and defense. He has to be careful not to just open the door. And there's contact. There is contact between them. Now, it looked like Alex Shahabi braked in the middle of the corner. It's an odd place to brake because suddenly that BMW got very big in Earl's camera shot. And you don't just suddenly catch a car in the middle of Luffield unless they've braked in the middle. And generally you'll brake going into a corner, or you might have to brake coming out of a corner. But it's very unusual to see people brake in the middle of a corner, because you want to try and carry seed all you can. As Jonathan L just a little bit offline. But yeah, we've got a yellow flag at the loop. I've got a car stationary at the loop as well. That's Derek Stack. Has Derek Stack got a problem? He seems to be... Has he retired? Is he retiring? Very enthusiastic Marshall there, waving that flag whilst not moving the rest of his body. And Graham Jackson just rejoining the circuit. Oh, he's just had a little bit of a slide. And I think that was Javier Marquez going by. Not sure. It was a pulse car. But yeah, the AI did a good job of the cameras, Dan.
Good to know.
The AI has taken over everybody's job. As we just jump back to this battle for 4th place now. Miles Dixon has left Shahabi behind. So Shahabi is at a disadvantage in that BMW. He is definitely holding them up. As they come round the loop, they can't overtake each other. There is a yellow flag whilst that car is out on track. Or on the runoff space. But is Earl going to throw it up the inside of Brooklands now? He's going to be closing. He's going to be closing. He's looking to make his move, but Alex Shahabi very firmly says, no. I do not consent to that. And Hearn keeps getting a whiff, a little sniff of an opportunity to pass, but Earl is not going to let that one go. He absolutely wants that 4th position. He knows he can go as quick as Miles. And Miles is now almost 2.5 seconds up the road from this battle. So he's at least half a lap a second quicker. And Earl's made a mistake at Cops. This has opened the door for Hearn. And Hearn has just driven straight past. So now it's Hearn's turn to go on the attack, to take the battle to Shahabi. Is Earl going to try and fight Hearn? Or is Earl going to just hang back and let Hearn have a go of it? And Hearn moves over, tries to break the toe. As they come down the hangar straight, we're about 20 minutes in now. Ooh, Earl is definitely on attack. He's not hanging about waiting for Hearn to have a go at Shahabi. He wants that place back now. This has given Shahabi a little bit of breathing room as Hearn goes in a bit deep. Going a little bit deep at Vale. And this is going to get him on the back foot as they come out of club. And we're on board with Earl now. Down the Hamilton straight, past the Silverstone wing, into the right-hander at Abbey. It's a very fast, almost, you can take this almost flat as they come around farm, up towards village. It's a heavy braking point. Earl's going to lunge it. Earl's going to lunge it. I don't think he quite had the legs on him to do that. $1 short and a day late. That's become a favourite expression now, hasn't it, Dan? The great little expression.
It's the other way round, isn't it? It's a day late and $1 short.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but that'd be copying. That might be copyrighted.
Well, I don't think Martin's that pernickety.
No, it won't be Martin. It'll be Martin Brundle's brand.
Nah, Martin's all right. So's Alex as well.
I wish I got the chance to speak to Martin Brundle, but at the Belgian Grand Prix, he was on his phone, so we thought we'd best not disturb him. But we got to talk to David Crofty, and that was good.
Yeah, I've never even seen him in real life, but
he looks just like he does on telly.
I've met his son Alex many times.
I've spoken to Alex a couple of times, but not in real life. I was meant to meet him, but it never happened. Anyway, Jonathan L. coming through Magnussen Beckett. It looked like he was closing right up on Hearn. Oh, and Earl, you're pushing very, very hard and just losing a little bit of downforce at the back and getting a slide on. They can see how far Miles Dixon's driven away from them. As here is Shahabi's teammate, Mike Thorpe. He's stuck behind Adam Gardner at the moment. And this is an Aston Martin gaggle for 10th, 11th and 12th. Something is going to happen down here at the end of the hangar straight. And Matt High, he's got one. Is he going to be able to take the second Aston Martin? It looks like he's done it. I don't think Gardner's got any response to that. So that is Matt High back up into 10th place after that opening lap debacle. And strange flickering shadows there as they blast their way through Abbey on Farm for the 11th time. I need a co-commentator, Dan. I need somebody chatty, because this is a 90-minute race, and I'm all on my own. I know you're commentating a little bit.
Speak to Johnny.
Speak to Johnny. Well, isn't he racing?
Yeah, but it's It's his.
It's his realm. Yeah, it's his domain to sort out, I suppose. Yeah, for the shorter races, it's okay on my own. For 90 minutes, I think I need a full-time colour commentator. As Martin goes a little bit deep into Luffield there, it looks like, but it looks like he's recovered, just taking a slightly different line. Alexander Ortoglen's not able to make any real ground there. But Martin Thorpe facing Adam Gardner still. Gap between the leaders is still less than 2 seconds. And it looks like Miles Dixon might be gaining some ground on Dan Watts. We'll keep an eye on that. Alex Harvey still keeping Hearn and Earl behind him. And Marcus Eagle's a couple seconds off that battle. And then it's a 5-second jump back to Petr Jelinek. As who is this, Dan?
Stack.
Ah, this is Derek Stack. So he has fully retired. He's staying in the lobby, which even makes me think he's got a technical problem with his wheel, or there's just some out of, home family emergency that he's got to deal with. And that takes precedent over sim racing. Watching the 10th, 11th and 12th come through Vale and Club. And say 90 minutes is a bit more of an endurance race, isn't it? They can take it easy a little bit now. They just need to get to the end. It's unless you're one of the drivers who've had to start at the back like Jordan Watson, it's just a case of not making mistakes, keeping it on the track, nailing your pit stop when you come around to it, and just having keeping out of accidents and incidents. As Ryan Davies has got John Cheel closing up on him, and the BMWs don't seem to be having a great evening of it. They seem to be slowly slipping backwards through the field, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, they don't seem to be enjoying maybe the conditions. Not suiting the car.
What conditions do you think they prefer?
Be a little bit warmer. Help get heat into the tyres.
I mean, the track is 31 degrees.
Yeah, but it's, it doesn't look it, does it?
No, it really doesn't, if I'm honest. 25-degree air temperature, but it still doesn't even look like that. It looks like it's really cold out there. Are there any GT cars you'd like to see come into ACZ, Dan?
The new Ginetta GT4, the new McLaren GT4.
The new Ferrari GT3.
Yeah, the new Ferrari. The new Lambo.
What one's that?
I think it's called the Evo 2.
Is that not Super Trofeo then?
No, I think there is a new Lamborghini coming out.
This is Matt High catching Chris Martin very close to the back of him. Martin going defensive. He wants to hang on to this 9th place as long as he can. I think Matt High is going to have the better of him. It's just a case of when rather than if. Matt High is very quick. He was up in 7th and fell down the order on the opening lap. Yet look how close he is. And the Aston's a much more stable car, much more comfortable platform than the Audi, which can be a little bit tricky and twitchy. Matt High is just biding his time. He knows where and when to get this done. And I think we're going to see it now. He's just going to sort of get the over and under. And he's going to get the run out of Aintree and down the Wellington Straight. And I think he's going to throw it up the inside of Brooklands, actually. Yet look how close he's getting. He's even thinking, I might just drive around the outside of you here. I think they're side by side now. And he's having a go of it. He knows if he can get it around the outside, he'll have the inside for Luffield. But yeah, he's really being held up now by Martin. This has enabled Adam Gardner and Martin Thorpe to close up a little bit. Cucumber Bush, welcome. Get that 40 plus degree track temp. And All Out Fop says, I do want to try sometime. Is that the commentary? And Ben22 says, noted. Is Ben Brown not driving?
He can type and drive. He's a man of many talents.
A man of many talents.
Also, I've thought of another car.
Oh, yeah.
The new M4 GT4. So it'll look just like the current M4 GT3, but with smaller wings.
Yeah. Oh, Matt High now is getting very close to the back of Martin. Martin again going very defensive, going to make Matt High really work at this. A little bit, I thought there was a little bit of contact between them there, just a little kiss. But no, Martin's still able to hold on. Matt High is just going to try and sell him a dummy going into Vale and Club, sorry, but not able to. Martin's still holding on to that 9th place, and this is costing now. Look at the train starting to develop behind Martin. This is this doing his race any good? Because he's going to start to come under pressure. That gap he'd built up to his rivals behind has disappeared now. All the while he's tried to hold off. Arguably a faster driver, and Matt High's got the move done. It's taken him a few laps, but he's finally got the move done at Village and into the loop. He ran it round the outside of Farm, up the inside of Village. A brilliant maneuver there, and Martin, he put up a valiant defense, but now he's got to do it all over again. That was a bit of a late move, wasn't it? That was almost Mazepin-esque, that sort of late move over, like a reactionary move.
I'd call that a Stroll maneuver.
Oh, no need to be that harsh. But yeah, it was that was just driving, looking in your mirrors, and as soon as they move out, you pull out.
Yeah.
Very reactionary there. It didn't happen. It wasn't the braking zone, so it's fine.
Yeah, no one ended up in a wall.
No. But Martin is very much on the defensive, and because he's cost all that time trying to defend from Matt High, now he's got Gardner, Thorpe, Ortegan, and Lindblom right up his behind, and he's gone off the track. He's made a mistake. Was able to get onto the bit of tarmac and astroturf there, so it's not cost him too much, but I think this is going to give Adam the run. No, he's able to hold on, but he will have got a track cut warning for that, wouldn't he, Dan?
I would assume so.
He's doing very well in that Audi, so it is a tricky car to handle. It's not the most stable car out there. The Aston Martin arguably is, but now Adam's watched Matt High get past. Is he going to try and do it in the same way? We'll see now. Through Abbey, he would have to hang it round the outside of Farm. Chris Martin on the grass a little bit. He kicked up a little bit more grass. This is where you can really brake late and dive for the apex, and you can do it at the loop as well. But he's going to try and get the old switcheroo. He's going to take a wider line here, and he's going to try and cut back to the inside. But it looks like the Audi just about has the legs to keep ahead, and now he's going to move right over to the left-hand side to defend. This is some extreme defend driving, and then he moves back over just to push Adam back over to the right and onto the racing line, so he himself can get close to the racing line. And you can see Matt High is already pulled away about a second gap between these three now. Did I see a yellow? I thought I saw a marshal waving a yellow flag briefly. They come over the line, and what's happened here? That's Jonathan L. I did see a yellow flag. He's made a mistake at Cops, but largely been able to get away with it. That's Marcus Hagel. He was only a few seconds behind anyway. So Jonathan L. has lost out to Marcus Hagel, but it looks like he just lost the back end through Cops and brilliantly held not to go into that wall and used that a bit of escape road. And that's Adam Gardner doing exactly what Chris Martin did the lap before. So the pressure is mounting. The drivers are pushing very, very, very hard indeed. As Cucumber Bush says, rain, 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 rain. And CVGT, hello Stevie B, says rain, 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 rain. No, there is rain. Dan, look, there's rain on the cards.
There's a possibility.
In half an hour, there's a chance of rain. They're not just saying rain randomly. As All Out Fop says, woo, a job. What's my salary? What? Who's got...
£0.
£0, yeah. You can have a lot of stock and go for the gap limited. As Adam's still trying to get past Chris Martin. And Chris is putting up a strong defence. He looks like he's going to do this for every position. He's going to hold on to every position he can. Chris Martin's already 2.5 seconds up the road. But Adam's going to have to dig deep and force the issue. He's trying to sell him the dummy. Tried to make him think he's going to go on the outside. Then move over to the inside. But Luffield is a great place to sort of get in under and over switcheroo move done. You can take such different lines through Luffield, but no, even with the slipstream, they're just not able to get the move done, especially when Chris Martin goes so defensive. Jonathan Seville with the fastest lap, of course. Dan Watts still just a couple seconds behind. He's really keeping in touch. Dan Watts doing brilliantly in that BMW, whereas Alex Shahabi's been struggling a little bit. They come through, Maggots and Beckett. We are just over 1/3 distance here at Silverstone. If you're just joining us, we're 1/3 of the way into this race. Jordan Watson's gone from the back of the grid to 14th. So he's absolutely flying. How he's lost the fastest lap, I don't know. But he's absolutely flying. Cucumber Bush says you pay £1 per race to commentate. Yeah, I can't. If you're going to do it for £1, I can't compete with that.
No, they have to pay.
Oh, oh, that's why it's -1. Yeah, you pay to do it. Alex Ortega, he's at the back of this train that's being headed by Chris Martin. But all the while they're doing this, this is allowing Lindblom and Watson to catch up. And there's a big kick up of dust there. And he's trying to make his way past Martin Thorpe. Gardner's still trying to get past Martin. And Watson's closing up on Lindblom.
Every time you mention Watson, I just want to say, elementary, my dear Watson.
Oh dear, can everybody else hear you say that, Dan?
Yes.
Cucumber Bush says, better set up an only cars to get some more. Maybe they are nice and you can commentate for free. What is going on in our Twitch chat? They're talking absolute nonsense as Adam gets a little bit wide on the exit there, kicks up some dust, and Chris Martin can lead them round for another lap. Still defending, still holding on to that 9th place, and he's 3.5 seconds back from Matt High now. As Matt High is, if we jump up to Matt High, yeah, he's caught Petr Jelinek. So Petr Jelinek, we know what a talent he is, but is he going to be able to hold back the tide that is Matt High? Hold back the high tide. I don't know, some pun there.
Punny.
Yeah. But, it looks like... No, Jelinek's still holding on. Well, actually, I was looking at the battle ahead of them as well. You've got, no, they're a lap down. Whoever they are ahead, they're a lap down. Yeah, this is Mav Gardner. And he's battling with Van Vingerden. Now, they're going to get the blue flags. Well, they're already getting blue flags. They're going to have to move over. Do not make contact now. Mav, do not push him out to the grass. But they're going to get blue flags, and they need to move over for Petr Jelinek. As Mav takes a lot of grass. Now. This is good. This is good. Well done. Oh, no. Whoa. Whoa. Mav. What was that, Mav? I mean, great reaction time. Look at this. You cut. Whoa. And how they all stopped and didn't go into each other. That was pretty incredible, wasn't it?
It really was.
Really was. Matt High. Like, massive, great skill from Petr not to go into the sideways car, and then for Matt High not to go into Jelinek as well. It's absolutely brilliant. As Martin Thorpe is attacking Adam Gardner, and Adam's still not able to clear Chris Martin. Dan Watts has just caught Jonathan Seville by almost a second in that last lap as Matt High comes into the pits to serve his mandatory pit stop, and I think that's Adam Gardner as well. No, sorry, Mav Gardner.
And Jonathan Earl in the background.
And Jonathan Earl as well into the pits. But yeah, the gap between the leaders has halved. Not sure when that's happened. I don't know if Jonathan Seville's had an off, as Ben Brown is gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to oNiD Racing's community. He's gifted out a total of 52 in the channel. He's gifted a 1-tier sub to Haribo Penguin, to Sabrex, to Ollie Knowles, to RMP Links, and to Rye Normal. Thank you very much, Ben. What does it cost to subscribe?
Don't know. I use my Prime subscription.
Oh, my Prime subscription ran out today. No, yesterday. It ran out yesterday. I cancelled it because I wasn't really taking advantage of it, and I completely forgot that Amazon owns Twitch, don't they?
Yeah. So
there's more.
You get 1 free Prime subscription to subscribe to any channel you want. You just have to renew the subscription manually. It doesn't automatically renew.
Completely forgot about that, but Cucumber Bush got one, Johnny Seville got one, It's Creamed got one, Ryan Davies got one, Parkin got one.
You've just been gifted a sub by D22 Racing.
And me, I got one as well. All out Fops, I don't use Prime, I spend my hard-earned money on subs. But this is Alex Shahabi, who's closed right up on Miles Dixon.
So either something's happened to Dixon, or Shahabi's just got the hammer down.
Yeah, maybe he has. Jonathan Seville's pulling away a little bit from Dan Watts again. That's opened up by a third of a second. But yeah, it's great to see this battle isn't over. Well, that battle's over, but the war is not over, as it were. As Miles is coming under some pressure now, and that was Marcus Hagel just in the back shot there coming through. Here's Adam Gardner still there. I mean, I would be looking at pitting. If being held up by Chris Martin, it would be an idea to take your pit stop and try to get the undercut. Wouldn't you agree, Dan?
I would agree.
Good.
That is exactly what I would do.
He's obviously holding them all up, and he's doing a great job defending. Now, I can't take that away from him. He has pulled he's pulled a little gap out between the Aston Martins, but he is holding this field up, and they can't do it on the track, so they're going to have to do it through the pit stop. As we've got some more cars coming into the pit lane. So you can close up to Chris Martin. He needs to be really late on the brakes, either here or at the loop. But it's one of those where you need to dive for the apex and just have complete faith in your brakes that you'll be stopped in time, or at least get your car alongside to stop them turning into the corner. And here's Jordan Watson. He's caught this group up now. He's up in 12th. Of course, we've got a couple of drivers who have pitted, such as Hearn and Earl. And Lindblom just he knows the sitch. He's just let Jordan Watson go right past, and Jordan be very appreciative of that. Daniel Lindblom knows that Watson's a faster driver, so he'll be looking to learn. And look how quick Watson is. He's just absolutely almost got into the back of Ortegren through Luffield. It was just like he's in a different league, like a GT3 car versus a GT3.5 car, as Ortegren just goes wide at Cops. I would assume like a deliberate, yeah, I'm just going to let you pass, you're much quicker.
Yeah, I think I saw his indicator flashing, but that's...
And now Lindblom's going to... Yeah, Lindblom's going to have a go. Ortegren's on the grass. He's got all 4 wheels on the grass. He needs to be careful as he tries to take the corners, not to... And he's off. He's off. He's back on the track. He has lost out. Yes, here we go. He's trying to... You can't turn when you're on the grass. Otherwise, you're just going to get into a spin. You can see... Oh, was there contact there, Dan?
There wasn't.
Wow, that was very close. He did a really good job not going into Lindblom. But that's Jordan Watson already up into 10th place. And he's going to... Oh, and we've got Mav Gardner there. Adam Gardner was just trying to get past Chris Martin. I don't think he managed it. But I think they'll happily move over and go, Jordan, can you have a go at this?
That's exactly what I was thinking. They're going to let Jordan go through. They know he's going to make a move at some point.
Yeah, I think they'll just watch what he does and try to emulate it.
They might be hoping he gives them good pulsing.
Yeah, that's it. Look, there's no defense going on here. They know what's going on. They know it's a Pulse swim sport car, and Pulse have a reputation of being very quick. So it's like, yeah, we're just going to move over for this guy and see what he can do. It's the equivalent of like letting the lock picking lawyer come through to pick a lock for you. They're like, yeah, he'll have it done in seconds. Adam still wants to have a go, and he looks threatening, but unless you actually make a move, all these movements and threats are a little bit shallow, aren't they? Unless you can actually back it up with a outbreaking maneuver. But here's Jordan Watson now. He's going to tell him how to do it. Come on, boys. Let a man deal with this now, he says. Come across the line. 22 laps completed as they round Copse Corner. Dan Watts is in the pits from second place. Yeah, you just see how much Jordan catches the Aston Martin. He's going to almost go into the back of him through the middle of the corner there as Gardner took a little bit of grass. Ooh, Watson takes a little bit of grass as well, but I think he's going to have to run down the hanger straight. Now, how much of a fight is Adam going to put up? I would just let Jordan go and just, you know, you've had about 10 laps to clear Chris Martin and you've not been able to. Just let Jordan have a go. As they come down into the club. Round the long double apex right-hander onto the Hamilton straight. That's Petter Jelinek, Van Wingerden. Then Chris Martin, Gardner, and Watson. Watson's made tremendous progress. We have just ticked over the halfway mark, and he's gone from like 38th place to 8th. I know there's a few people in the pit, so realistically he's 12th, but this is absolutely incredible from Jordan Watson. Real driver of the day performance at the moment. He's not able to clear Gardner yet. Gardner hasn't defended particularly, but he's just keeping up pace to stay ahead of Watson. So Watson's gotten past the soft pickings, the low-hanging fruit. Now he's got sort of the tough nuts to crack, as it were. These guys do not, you know, they are a bit quicker. And that's Marcus Hagel into the pits to serve his mandatory pit stop. As Watson now coming through Woodcote. And these three seem in a bit of a stalemate, don't they, Dan? They're not making any headwind on each other.
No, it's like the unstoppable force and the immovable object, or fire and ice.
That is one of your favourite expressions, isn't it?
It is.
I'm sure I've heard you say that a couple of times now. White flag there. That means slow car on the track. As Watson really closing up. He needs to not catch Adam up at an apex. He needs to hang back so he can catch him out of a corner and sort of slingshot himself past. As I think that's Chris Martin moving over. And then Gardner's just trying to stay in the tow. And obviously Watson follows suit, but you can see the speed difference there. Into club again. Yeah, Jordan Watson's conquest has been sort of slowed down, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not the blitzkrieg it once was.
No, I was thinking in that sort of term as well, and I thought, I don't think Jordan will want to be likened to Nazis.
Well,
he stormed across France, but he's going for the...
What a move.
He's launched a dummy. Oh, I don't think Adam saw that coming, but he's holding
Absolute
on.
dive bomb.
That was a dive. That was a brilliant move, though. He sold him the dummy. But Adam's done very well to hold on to that, if I'm honest. Great driving from the pair of them. But unless Adam can make some move, and that's just given, you know, he's just losing time to Chris Martin now. Whereas if he let Jordan go through, he could follow Jordan maybe past Martin. So this is just playing into Martin's hand at the moment, and he's almost able to put out a second. Jordan Watson, yeah, making the right decision. I'm being held up too much now. Into the pits I go. That's Miles Dixon just coming off the ramp, and away he goes as one Pole Sport leaves, another enters. And he'll go up on his hydraulic rams in a moment. That's Mav Gardner just in front in the green Aston. And here's Martin Thorpe running in 6th now. He's behind. And that was a very quick pit stop from Jordan. I mean, it is a quick pit stop anyway. They're only sort of a bit of a splash and dash, isn't it, Dan?
Yes, I think it's mandatory fuel, not mandatory tyres.
Yeah, we better check that. I mean, I'm sure if they've made a mistake with their pit stop, it won't go green, and they'll know they'll have to come back in and do it properly. But now here's a different Pulse Sim Sport behind the 2 Aston Martins. Now this is Javier Marquez in the Mercedes.
I think he's a lap down.
He is a lap down, yeah. Unusual to see him a lap down. That was Miles Dixon, and is that Glenn Cameron coming out the pits? And Miles Dixon just going up the inside of Hearn. I think Hearn just understanding the situation and letting him go there. Very sensible move. Helps them both as Alex Shahabi takes the lead of the race as Jonathan Seville has pitted. Alex Shahabi, now your race leader. Here he is. Just got a couple of back markers ahead of him. So would this be a good time to pit before he comes up to pass them? No, he's going to stay out for a bit longer. There's 35 more minutes of the pit window, so plenty of time here. I think that might be John Chio ahead. See if any of these... No, they're not going to pit either. They're staying out. They feel like they're making good time at the moment. Obviously, Jordan Watson didn't quite feel the same about it. He's dropped down to 14th. But of course, this will all correct itself as the drivers at sort of the front half of the grid who haven't pitted will sort of file in to their rightful places later. So it's all a little bit jumbled. Javier Marquez just making way for Daniel Lindblom there. It's a shame, as quick as he is, that meeting with Barry R at Maggots and Beckett's has cost him a lot of points, and that's Adam Gardner off the track. And Daniel Hearn is back with his friend Jordan Watson. He's probably just going to try and follow him round and see what he can do.
Although this shows how quick Watson is, because how high was Hearn up before they'd both pitted? And now Watson is ahead, even after getting caught up behind those battling cars.
Yeah, so Hearn and Earl were like in 5th and 6th place respectively, and they were fighting with Alex Shahabi. So it really says just how far Jordan Watson has come up. Ooh, and Hearn looks like he's fancying his chances as he moves out the slipstream down the hangar straight, although he does tuck back into it.
I think I can see how Watson's gained some time. So Watson didn't take tyres, whereas Hearn did.
Yeah,
and so did Earl.
So I suppose he's got to do it though, hasn't he? If he wants to make some progress up the field, he needs to roll those dice, take a bit of a gamble, and just try and make the tyres last.
I can tell you something interesting about Jonathan Seville.
Has he got 6 fingers?
Not that interesting. He also hasn't taken tyres.
Oh, so maybe this is just a Pulse Sim Sport philosophy of saving money on tyres. On virtual tyres.
Could be. There's a few down the field that have pitted and haven't taken tyres.
Oh, Derek Stack's in the track. Good evening, Derek Stack. What happened? Yeah, let us know, Derek, what happened, because we saw you pull off the track and retire. Heavy rain after the race. Great podium celebrations, UK style. And, his wheel died. It did.
We could have light rain in 10 minutes. Light rain in 10 minutes.
That's a good idea. If they haven't pitted for tyres, if everyone has to come in again to put wet tyres on, they would have saved time by not putting a second pair of dries on, wouldn't they?
Correct. Now, it just depends how much it rains, because the heavy rain is not due for possibly 30 minutes, because the heavy rain could be due in 20 minutes. We just don't know.
We just don't know. But this could throw this championship wide open if if Jonathan Seville was to make a huge mistake on dry tyres on a wet track, it could hand Larson the championship. If Jonathan Seville sort of put it in a wall and aquaplaned off the track, it could change the entire outcome of the championship. As Martin Thorpe chasing Adam Gardner, which looks like Chris Martin has come into the pits. He's back out of the pits already, but he's in 13th, and he's well behind Jordan Watson. So being able to get that undercut has paid off massively, and obviously not taking tyres.
Well, Martin didn't take tyres, but he was stopped for 7 seconds longer.
Now, do you think that was just to repair a bit of damage?
Or he didn't fill up on fuel and put more fuel in at the stop.
Oh, maybe. I wonder if some drivers have these... that's Matt High going up the inside of Chris Martin. So he didn't find it too hard, did he?
No, I think that's more car difference, combination of car difference and driver ability to get past there.
Car difference? We had Aston Martins chasing the Audi, didn't we?
Setup?
Yeah, just Matt High's that good.
Maybe that's what you need. You need that ability to be in Fry Guys Motorsport, to be able to just sling it up the inside.
Yeah. I like to think Fry Guys, if they all get together, they'd go to like TGI Fridays or something for celebratory food.
I was thinking more of Chip Shop, that kind of fry.
I was thinking like Friday because it's FRI.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And TGI Fridays, and yeah, I can see that. Oh no. Daniel Lindblom is already on wet tyres.
They are going to be very hot.
They are... Yeah, they are going to be ripped to shreds unless it rains now. Oh, Dan, why has he put on 35 PSI? Make that 36.
He's just going to be doing a rain dance in his seat now, isn't he?
Yeah, we love a trier. We love a gambler. But, Dan, what are his recent lap times like?
I think he pitted on the last lap, so his last recorded lap was 3 minutes and 1.
Okay, so we'll find out as he comes across the line. But that's Colin Cameron chasing him down. And Colin's in third in AM class at the moment. But he could be taking the lead of the class because Rhodes and Wilmot need to pit. And Lindblom's just going very wide. I don't think he has any grip, does he?
He's already 2.4 seconds off his best lap.
His tyres are up to 37 PSI now. Dan, how high can these tyres pressure get before they burst?
Know. I've never been that high.
Have you never been high?
Not in this figurative at all.
I've never been that high. Yeah, Derek Stack's asking, like, can they explode? Would you get a puncture from having tyres too hot?
Theoretically, yes. It just depends whether it's modelled in the game.
What train was that going past your house, Dan?
Big one.
Big one, I heard it.
One that's lit up.
Fast one.
Yeah, we get the Lenin trains come past here.
Pendolinos.
That's the ones.
As Martin Thorpe still not able to get past Adam Gardner. These two are very equally matched. Yeah, Derek Stack's asking if the tyres can explode and take out a whole corner of the circuit and leave a crater. But truck tyres that explode, they can actually take your head off, can't they?
Yeah, I think it's because of the amount of pounds per square inch.
Yeah, the pressure those are under. If that pops and you're right there working on the wheel, it can really take your head off, and that's not an exaggeration. It will kill you.
Once you pop, you stop.
Yeah. DVB described them as the colour of a sunburnt Irishman.
That's a bit mean to Hydronox.
Yeah, it is. Poor Hydronox. Where is Lindblom now? He's 18th. How are Daniel Lindblom's tyres now? They were 37 PSI.
He's 6 seconds.
Oh, God, yeah, look. So his best is a 159 and he's doing 205s. This is what Formula 1 team was it who sent a driver out on wets? It was like for Perry McCarthy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Can't think of
Was
the
it
team.
ATS? No.
No, another
one of
awful
those
team.
teams. Yeah.
It's one of those teams.
It looks like Ortegren has done the same. He was 5 seconds off on his previous lap.
Oh dear, some big brain moves going on out here, and they're just making themselves 6 seconds a lap slower, and their tires must be absolutely red raw. I'm gonna Google it actually. It says, of course, competizione tire pressure too high. It's hard to type and watch a race. What happens if the tires are... Oh, that just says in real life. That's not a related result. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find anything. And we've got Van Vingerden. And was that Dave Zielecki? We get a replay. What on earth happened there to Dave Zielecki? Was he taken out? I was just actually looking. So here they are. They're side by side as they come into club. So Dave's on the outside. Then he's got the inside. Van Vingerden must still be on the left. Oh, and he's just had the pit maneuver put on him. The bonnet jumps up. Oh, now, did Dave give him enough space? I suppose if Van Vingerden was on the AstroTurf and trying to get back on the tarmac, he might have felt he didn't have enough space, but that looks like rain coming down.
Message to pit lane, track is now wet.
The tyres are up to 39 PSI, and it's just as well Dave has already won the AM Championship, isn't it?
It is, as we've got masses heading for the pit lane.
Yeah, the unwashed masses. And that's Javier Marquez coming in for tyres. I mean, he's a lap down anyway, so I don't think he can wreck his race more. Oh, that was a... Oh, no.
I think that's Ralph Vest into the wall.
I think Ralph Vest has just come in. He's done a David Coulthard. He's just come into the pits and into the wall. And he'd be hoping, I hope nobody saw that.
Everyone's coming in that hasn't come in, and even some drivers. So Shahabi's in. Some drivers that have pitted in. Miles Dixon is in. Hagel is in. Watson is in. Earl is in.
Derek Stack says, "Who's laughing? Who's laughing now? Lindblom for the win." Wow, I butchered Lindblow, FTW, and who's that flashing their lights? Is that?
I don't know, but Martin's in.
Let's get a different camera angle anyway. Oh, here we go. Here's your race leader, who's I think they're still out on dries, aren't they, Dan?
Correct.
They haven't passed the pit lane yet, and you can see they're getting a little. Jonathan's getting a little bit of a slide on. So yeah, Dan Lindblom definitely is driving around with a Jeremy Clarkson smug face.
Let's see where it has put him.
What am I seeing, Dan? Have I just watched the race leader, Jonathan Seville, pull over?
Nope.
Well, I did, but he's gotten going again. I think he might have just been trying to set up his pit menu.
Possibly.
Oh, and that Porsche, yeah, it's really struggling. The dry tyres. Daniel Lindblom's tyres should be calming down a little bit now. The PSIs would be coming down. And what does a wet tyre PSI ideally want to be set at, Dan?
You want to be between 30 and 32.
Okay, so higher than the dries anyway. And this is Dan Watts into the pit lane now to get some wet tyres on. Yeah, don't put dries on. Oh, no doubt one driver's going to do that, aren't they? They're going to accidentally put dries on. There's going to be one. There's always one. Anyway, he's into the pits now. Dan Rose has a stop-go 30-second penalty, so he's sped in the pits excessively. Have you seen, Dan, Haas F1's little pit wall?
I have. They're doing it to save money. Oh, look at Watson. Just fire it up the inside there.
Yeah, I don't think those wets are quite...
No, Watson has pitted, I believe.
The track is damp now. I mean,
yeah,
I think...
Watson is on wet tyres.
Oh, yeah, but what I'm saying is Daniel Lindblom's tyres might still be over.
Red Raw.
Yeah, they might be red raw and still not cooled down yet. As Jordan Watson looks to go up the inside of the Mercedes there. I think that's just putting a lap on him. Yeah, DV's just saying the PSI is down to 33. As Watson now catching his teammate Marcus Hagel. And here's your race leader for the moment, Dan Hearn. But it does look like he's tiptoeing round. I think he's still on dries, isn't he?
His last lap was a 2:06.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's really having to be careful and just sort of get the foot down and brake in a straight line. He's not going to be able to carry much speed. Here's Alex Harvey, currently running in second.
So he's in the net lead because he didn't pit until he took wet tyres.
Oh, so brilliant from Alex. Yeah, he's played a blinder. He's only made one pit stop and he's just gone from dries to wets. Whereas everybody else out on the track has made at least 2 stops, haven't they?
Yes, so I can run down that for you. So Hearn 1 stop, Shahabi 1 stop, Thorpe 1, Jelinek 1, Gardner 1, Handy 1, Lindblom, Cameron, Lewin's just making his first stop, Hearn's 1, Rhodes 1, Van der Veen 1.
Oh, has Dave Zelecki got fixed up?
Harkin 1. I will have a look. I can't seem to see his... Oh.
Now, Dan Hearn's just gone past the pit lane. He's not gone into the pits.
Is he going to try and wait it out?
I wonder, but it's just going to get heavier, isn't it? And here's Dave Zelecki. He's back out on track, but he is 31st. But it doesn't matter because he is the AM champion. He's already got that wrapped up by almost 40 points. And Jordan Watson now has caught his teammate Marcus Hagel, and they're just ahead of Henry Handy, and he just wants to make sure that nobody on dry tyres is just going to slide into the back of him. And Jonathan L facing the wrong way at the loop. What's happened here? Is he just... Yeah, he felt it coming, tried to stop it, but just couldn't. As he gets on his way again, just behind Quinten van Wingerden. And Watson up into 10th. Dan Watts down in 6th now. Of course, he was running in 2nd behind Jonathan Seville. Seville is in 3rd, 20 seconds back from Shahabi, and Shahabi's only a couple seconds back from Hearn. Is this going to be a bit of an unexpected dream win for Hearn or Shahabi? It'd be exciting to see that.
Now, if you think about it...
I'd rather not.
Watson was with Thorpe. Now, if Watson had stayed out and waited till the rain, he would now be in 4th position or 5th position.
Absolutely right, yeah. He pitted early because he was being held up by Chris Martin. But you're absolutely right. Thorpe held on and got... Oh, somebody else off the track there. Mad Panda, I think. But yeah, he waited and got the pit stop done the once rather than having to do it twice. And this is Shahabi on Hearn. This is for the race lead.
It is. So
up
on
the inside, I think Hearn's still on dries.
Yes, so the last lap, though, he was only 2.5 seconds off the pace, Hearn.
Stack, speaking of AM champion, I hope he lets me borrow these sandbags for the evaluations.
Daniel Hearn is in.
Yeah, he's come in a bit late, I think. He needed to do that a couple laps ago. I think he's cost himself a good sort of 15 seconds by staying out there. Because you're losing about 6-7 seconds a lap, aren't you?
Yeah.
And this is Watson on his teammate, Marcus Hagel. Very simple. Up the inside, you're not going to get in the way of your teammate too much. And that was the teammate up ahead, Marquez, but he is a lap down, of course.
Lindblom is still in podium position in silver.
He is, yeah. Running in 3rd, 12th place overall. 5 seconds back from Handy. "21 minutes to go here at a very soggy Silverstone now. Daniel Hearn's still in the pit lane.
Yeah, 30-second stop for tyres.
Yeah, VZ says, when are the evaluations? Join the Discord, and you'll probably find out there as Dan Hearn gets going again. Where is he going to come out? Looks like he might come out in, well, it's saying 11th place, isn't it? We'll find out if that's accurate.
It is.
That's Daniel Lindblom, so yes, he's in 11th place. VZ says, I'm in the Discord, I'm just too lazy to check. Thanks, DBB.
Here's where all the magic happens.
Yeah, this is what we look at. All these graphs that are identical and don't move. As we're just coming, 20 minutes to go here, and Jonathansville's trying to catch back the lead he's lost. He's made an extra pit stop, and he sort of stopped under the Wellington Bridge for a moment to sort out his pit menu, I think. He is catching, though. He is catching. He's 18 seconds back now. He was 22 seconds back, I think. But
I think Shahabi's just making sure he brings it home. I don't think Sevilla's got the time to catch.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out on that gap and see how much time he can take each lap, because he's got 20 minutes, so it's about 10 laps left. We're just following Matt Wilmot, who's currently leading AM class in 17th place at the moment. Car number 6. He obviously chose that number because of the GOAT, the legend that is Nicholas Latifi.
Clearly.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Best driver in the world.
Yeah, it's a shame he's not in F1 this season. Logan Sargent's taken his place.
Replaced him with some Yank.
Yeah, some Yankee Doodle. As the track is still damp, it's not fully wet yet. Which championship did you get signed up to, Trev? Oh, I think they're just talking amongst themselves. Yeah, the wipers are at full speed. Not like the snow I had to drive through this morning to get to Brands Hatch. ACC can't simulate snow, can it?
Not that I know of.
That would be extreme conditions, wouldn't it?
It really would.
As Ortegren is just running behind Earl. Earl down in 14th place after his mishaps, and I think has taken 2 pit stops.
Yep, 2 pit stops confirmed.
Those drivers who held off making the early pit stop just on the off chance of rain coming later, it's paid dividends for them. Seville is still 18 seconds behind Shahabi, so it doesn't look like he's making up any ground. He does still hold the fastest lap of the race, of course, but I don't think that's going to be broken now. That was set in dry conditions, and Petr Jelinek running in 4th, absolute legend. By far and away with the lead of the silver class. Henry Handy probably about half a minute back in 10th, and then Dan Lindblom in 3rd with an inspired decision to take wet tyres early on. Martin Thorpe has only taken 1 pit stop. He took it very late. So
Same as Shahabi.
Yeah, Martin Thorpe and Jordan Watson were together on track, but Jordan Watson took a pit stop earlier to get himself out of slow traffic, which was Chris Martin. So he came into the pits. But Martin Thorpe stayed out, and because of that, he hasn't had to make a second pit stop or anything, and he's just been able to go from dry tyres straight to wets. The track is still damp. I mean, it's really coming down now, so you'd think it would be wet by now, but anyway, Jonathansville's gap is coming down, but not enough. He needs to take a second a lap. He needs to take 2 seconds a lap, actually, to get past. As who is that moving over? That's one of the Mad Pandas.
Yeah, I mean, the fans not being out in force is now explained. They knew what weather was coming.
Yeah, exactly. They knew the weather was coming.
Although that doesn't stop your average British motorsport fan usually.
No, it's like Britain's the biggest buyer of convertibles in Europe, isn't it?
Yep.
Despite the weather.
Yeah, even though you can have the roof down properly once a year.
What I liked about the Smart Roadster I had was it wasn't a full convertible, you know, it just, the top roof bit folded, like tucked back into a little cubby in the back. So it wasn't like folding, it was just rolling up. So it was just like a massive sunroof, really. So it was quite easy to put up and down. I had it down quite often.
Feel the wind through your hair.
Yeah. And it became a true convertible if you took the like the top of the door pillars off.
Yeah.
As Miles Dixon chasing Adam Gardner. Jonathan Seville, 16.8 seconds back now, so he is making ground, but Alex just needs to keep his pace, and he's got this win in the bag. As Miles is, nearly loses the back end entirely. That would have been a race ender. He's pushing very hard. He might need to take his traction control just up one notch. As they come into Cops, and they're going to have to, he takes a bit of a wide line, takes maybe a bit more of a wet racing line. Up into fifth, through Maggots, back down into fourth gear, into Beckett's now, third gear. Does he shift down to second, or does he try to hold the revs down to sort of reduce wheel spin? He keeps it in third. Looks like he's going to get a great drive, actually. He's going to get Adam Gardner down the hanger straight. He got a good drive out of that last corner. Yeah, he moves out. And I think it'd be a simple outbraking maneuver. Yeah, he's got it done before they get to the corner even. He's just got to make sure he doesn't overrun or open the door for Adam. And he is up into sixth place. A great move there from Miles Dixon. And now he's going to have to set off after Watts, who is about 3.5 seconds up the road. He's just coming out of club now. There he is. The two racing stronger cars up ahead. Although one of them might have been Petty Jelinek, actually. So that's Ryan Davies. He's in 23rd place. And I think he just let Petty Jelinek lap him. Yes, that was the case. Yeah, just making sure I was correct there. Yeah, Petty. Oh, and Daniel Rhodes is off the track. He just lost the back end. We need to get some shorter replays. The accident, yeah, it doesn't happen until he gets down to Cops, but this is, sorry, not Cops. Abbey. There we go, comes into Abbey. Is he just carrying too much speed? He just loses the back end, tries to hold it. And then you sort of get that tank slapper on, but he's all right. He's got going again. He's just behind Marcus Hagel there. And Jonathan Elves had another spin. He's really not... Yeah, he's lost the back end before he gets to the corner. I think he needs to tweak his brake balance a bit there, doesn't he, Dan?
It looks that way. Possibly tweak the brake balance, tweak ABS, tweak traction control. So the whole...
Yeah, the chance of...
smorgasbord.
Ah, yes, the whole smorgasbord. I've actually had some smorgasbord in Denmark. It's very good.
Tasty.
Yeah, it is. Lots of rye bread. Rather than wheat bread, it's rye bread. Much darker in colour. There's Dan Watts just trying to go past Ryan Davies. He does so easily. Ryan Davies lets him go. This is the battle for 17th between Wilmot and Cameron. This is for the lead of AM class. May I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, for the lead of AM class, and there's only 12 minutes to go. Of course, this won't win them the AM championship. This is let me just check the point standing in AM. So Matt Wilmot is second, and Colin Cameron is fourth. But with John Cheel a couple places further back, if Colin Cameron can get past Wilmot, that could catapult Cameron up into third in the AM class. And it looks like he's going to try. Do not know. That's not a... Yeah, he can't really... It's a tricky place to make a move there, isn't it?
It is, especially in these conditions. And Matt's run very wide.
He has. He's opened the door. The evil nature Aston Martin. They're going to be side by side now, coming down the hanger straight. You can see Matt Wilmot to Colin's left. It's just going to be who can break the latest and maintain their racing line. Here we go. Down through Stowe, and it looks like Colin's got the job done. Matt might have a little cheeky look up the inside of club, but no, he's just going to settle down to follow, I think. Brilliant move from Colin for the lead of AM class and 17th position overall. Track is still just damp. No wind, but it is just damp still. It's not a fully wet track. As Daniel Hearn, he's racing Henry Handy just for the last top 10 spot. Watson is up into 8th. And Chris Martin, who did all that defending, is he must be a bit disheartened to see he's in 15th, while Hearn and Watson are much further up, and Adam Gardner up in 7th. So Chris Martin must be kicking himself because he was defending for his life from those guys, and now he's say half a lap behind them. Down towards Stowe. This is Hilke van der Veen. Is he looking to make a move on Javier Marquez? He was, but I think Marquez can handle this. He's further down the grid than further down the order than he'd usually be. Obviously. Oh, and Dan, has he had another incident? Or is that bonnet lifted?
I don't think he's stopped in the pit long enough to repair it.
Maybe he put it down a little bit. Less than 10 minutes to go here now at Silverstone. The final round of the British GT3 Championship. As Dan Hearn's going to go up the inside of Henry Handy. It looks like a simple move. No, maybe not. Henry Handy's going to hold on. Round the outside. Hold it through the loop. Looks like they're going to come side by side through Aintree as well. As long as they give each other space. Which they do. It looks like Hearn's got the measure of Handy. And that is Hearn up into 10th, and Henry drops out of the top 10 now, but still does hold second in class. Lindblom is a good sort of 10 seconds back, or possibly more, actually 16 seconds back, so Henry Handy is under no immediate threat to his second place. Here's Dan Watts. He's still chasing Petr Jelinek, who's having a absolutely storming race in this stormy weather, and the track is wet now. It has gone from damp to wet. We are on a fully wet track. Hello, Shadow Quinn. 1812 1066. It's much better to listen to you guys than the NASCAR commentary on TV. Ah. Boogity, boogity, boogity. We're racing here at Silverstone. That's how NASCAR commentators speak, isn't it, Dan?
Pit road.
Yeah, they're heading into pit road. Boogity, 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 amen. Don't forget your constitutional right to a gun. Shadow Quinn, I'm so glad I found you guys. Ah. This is Lindblom and Jonathan Earl. Jonathan Earl looks like he's just got past Lindblom. But Earl has been making a few mistakes tonight. Here's Miles Dixon. He's currently in 6th place. Might actually be catching on Dan Watts and Petr Jelinek. Let's just see what that gap is between Shahabi and Jonathan Seville. It's commendable. There's a drive-through for Matt High. Matt High has a drive-through, Dan.
That must be for track limits.
It must be. It's terrible. Matt High's had a great race. He's made up so many positions after the opening lap, and now he's just all that hard work is practically undone. As now Jelinek is coming under direct threat from Dan Watts. Can he hold on for another, arguably what will be 3 or 4 laps? Jelinek takes a bit of a wide line at Cops, misses the apex. Dan Watts is closing, but they're coming up to Maggots and Beckett. It's very difficult to overtake through there. Shadow Quinn bought and downloaded this sim, raced a few, got 5th all 3 times. As a super noob to the sim world, I was stoked to get 5th. That's brilliant. Well done, Shadow Quinn. No, you should be absolutely stoked for that. Are we going to see any more drive-thrus in the dying minutes here at Silverstone? Oh, Dan Watts is going to fire it up the inside of Jelinek, and Jelinek, he doesn't want to risk or compromise his silver class lead, so he wisely lets that one go. He's a country mile ahead of Henry Handy at the moment, and the last thing he needs now would be to be spun out, put in the wall, something like that.
Yeah, he's made the safer choice there.
Yes. And this rain is not going to let up. It's going to rain for the next, well, it says 10 minutes and half an hour, but we've, of course, only got 5 minutes left here. It's arguably about 3 laps. Yeah, Seville is gaining on Shahabi. It's only a 14-second gap now, and it's commendable, but he's going to run out of time. He's not making enough inroads to Shahabi, so Shahabi's a genius pit strategy. Could see him take the win here at the final time of asking in the British GT3 Championship, and this is Ryan Davies, and
I think he's being lapped.
I think you're right. I think he is being lapped. Yeah, he's currently running 23rd. I mean, that's Henry Handy going past him, who's running in 11th. And that's Jordan Watson just behind.
That'll be not Henry Handy.
No, it can't be. It must be John
Adam Gardner.
Adam Gardner, that's it.
787 with his...
Remnant Racing has been growing, hasn't it? They've got a few more drivers than they used to have.
Dixon Hurst just got a drive-through as well.
Dixon Hurst with a drive-through. That's going to wreck his race. And Jonathan L's off again. And no, Jordan Watson's got a drive-through. So we're just going to watch Jonathan L. Is he going to make the same mistake? No. He's going to do it at the next corner. So what I said earlier was maybe he needs to check the brake balance. Oh no, he's just run wide. Oh no, he's okay there. That car is twitching all the time, and he's just got on the very slippery AstroTurf. And well done to hold it, well, to stop it going into the wall. But this, yeah, he's not dealt with this rain very well at all. Jordan Watson with the drive-through penalty after what has been an absolutely stellar drive up from the back of the grid.
It's less than 2 seconds off 7th at the moment.
Oh, I feel for Jordan. He's had a brilliant race, and this is going to see him drop down to about 16th or 17th place, I think. Do you think he's just not going to take it and just let the penalty add on at the end of the race?
It's an option that he can weigh up and see what it does. Obviously, taking a drive-through now, you lose less time than you would normally, as it's a wet race.
What's incredible, Dan?
No, sorry, that's the
well, BMW Fan 300 is now a follower.
Yeah, that's the sound you hear when someone follows or subscribes on Twitch.
It is indeed. Yeah, Ben says, "Oh, John," and BMW Fan 300. Hello from Latvia. Welcome from Latvia. Welcome to wet England. It's 2.5 minutes to go at the final British GT race, round 6. Jordan Watson coming into the pits now to serve his drive-through penalty. So unfortunate. He's got to be careful. Oh, he's really blasting in, isn't he?
He is. And going back to the previous comment, that's a bund, isn't it? Wet.
Yeah, it is actually. Oh, let's hope Jordan Watson doesn't... let's hope he hasn't sped in the pit lane, because he was very quick. Of course, he's not stopping for a pit stop, so it might not be too painful.
We'll follow him through and see where he comes out.
Yeah, let's just check. No, so I don't think he sped through the pit lane. He's all good. I think that was Marcus Hagel going past, so I don't think he's lost out too badly.
I think Matt High has taken...
And there's Henry Handy.
So it's down to 11th.
Oh, so painful. He could probably get Henry Handy back, but I mean, I think Jordan will still be very proud of his drive tonight. It's been brilliant, but oh, he's just having another off there, and there's Matt Hyde disqualified.
Speeding in the pit lane, one would assume.
Oh no! I don't suppose we have a replay of that, do we? We don't know when it happened, but
No.
no. I mean, he must have absolutely blasted through the pit lane.
But now because he's parked in the pit lane, you have the fantastic ACC bug that the marshal has now put out a yellow flag.
Good night, BMW Fan 300. Yeah, it's a ridiculous bug. Although, I don't think I've ever seen anybody get a penalty for passing under yellow flag in ACC.
No, I don't think you do.
I've definitely overtaken cars in like one player mode in ACC under yellow flag and not had a penalty for it. As Jordan Watson goes up the inside of Henry Handy once again to take back that 10th place. Certainly on a bit of damage control. Jonathan Seville has closed up the gap to Alex Harvey by another 2 seconds, but time is just about to tick to 0. Got 20 seconds left. I think this is the last lap. He's not even up to the F1 start-finish straight yet, so this is definitely going to be the last lap. And I think that's that Ralph Vest behind.
It is.
Oh, he's having a bit of slide on there. It's 11 seconds, so Seville is gaining, but Alex Shahabi can walk around the circuit now. He just needs to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. Miles Dixon in 5th place now. Now he's just making a move on Petr Jelinek. Jelinek moves over to, I think, to let him past, and Miles didn't actually expect it to happen. As they come past the pit entry of the Formula 1 paddock. Shadow Quinn, is there someone you would suggest I check out on YouTube for tips and help on getting better at ACC? James Baldwin. If you look up Jaaaames Baldwin, it's the name James but stretched out. James Baldwin. Look him up, because he is very good at ACC and world fastest gamer. But here's Alex Shahabi to take the checkered flag here at a rain-soaked Silverstone for the final race of the British GT3 Championship. And Jonathan Seville, he did catch, but he will have to settle for 2nd tonight. But I think that is enough for the championship title. And that's Ralph Vest just returning to the pit lane. And Martin Thorpe with a inspired pit strategy, because he of course was alongside Jonathan Earl at one point, and Chris Martin. He comes across the line to take 3rd place here at Silverstone. Congratulations to our podium sitters on pole in pro class, and we're just waiting for Petr Jelinek to come across the line and win in the silver class of the British GT3 Championship. Henry Handy looks like he will be coming across the line in 2nd in silver class. And that's Marcus Hagel coming across the line. And Dan Hearn. I can't believe this guy's putting the checkered flag away each time cars go by. Why does he just hold it out? He has to keep changing flags.
And you can see he must have a little switch that just turns the checkered part off.
Yeah. It's like a Kindle display sort of technology, an e-ink waving flag.
Yeah, because people slow down immediately after the line, so he's got a signal that there's slow cars on the track.
He does, yeah. That was Chris Martin. Can we get another? I can't see who's coming across the line, Dan. I can't tell what names. That's Jonathan Earl, but I can't tell who's finishing where. Thank you. So Henry Handy does take 2nd, and Lindblom, after the inspired tyre choice where he drove on wets in the dry, finishes 3rd in silver class. Colin Cameron wins in AM class, with Matt Wilmot taking 2nd, and John Cheel taking third in the AM class. But Dave Zalecki is your champion of AM class. And I think it's safe to say that I think Henry Handy has done enough to stave off Pete Petty and Alexa last round charge. I think he is the silver champion. And I think silver has, the pro championship has gone to Jonathan Seville. It obviously just comes down to drop rounds. And of course, you can check the championship standings on SimRacing.GP, which of course powers oNiD Racing. So that brings to a close this 6-round British GT3 Championship. We'll be back in a few weeks' time, but drivers will change as some drivers are promoted from the Challenger Series, and some will be dropping from this series down to the Challenger Series. It's a bit of a sort of football Premier League Division 1 championship sort of affair, isn't it, Dan?
It is. It's not just your finishing position in the championship. It's whether you attend as many races as you can as well.
And
that affects it, and your conduct.
Yeah, sort of incident points you rack up. If you're racking up those incident points, it's more likely that you'll be put down in a lower class of championship. But it's a school night. It's 10:20, so it is time for us to say goodnight from oNiD Racing. Thank you for joining us for this British GT3 Championship and the Round 6 finale at Silverstone. My name's Cammy Sturch. I've been joined by Dan Hyde. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your evening. Good night.